Hey friends, thanks for stopping by. This is Volume 1, Episode 3 of my Flosstube adventure. If you are new here, thank you for stopping and giving me a little bit of your time. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for following along on my Flosstube journey. I am Jason. My pronouns are he and him. You can find me on Instagram at jasonxstitches, or you can also email me at jasonxstitches@gmail.com. I received so many comments and messages over the past few weeks that I'm still trying to get caught up on them. I have read everything and I appreciate the sentiments that everybody is sending out to me. I am just a little slow on getting back to everybody. So if you have asked questions or sent me any information I haven't replied yet, I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And I have received a lot of questions and people asking for me to include things in my videos. And I'm making a list and getting around to those. And hopefully I will try to get all that in there as soon as possible. Again, I appreciate all the engagement and everybody reaching out and welcoming me here. It has just been a great adventure. So over the past 2 weeks, I have also been traveling too. I had a conference out of state and I was in Denver for a bit there. And so I didn't get as much stitching done during that time. I just had way too much stuff going on with the conference and whatnot. And so I feel like I missed like 4 or 5 stitching days these 2 months. But while I was traveling, I was able to visit 2 creative reuse centers and look through previously owned cross-stitch materials. And so I have some stuff later for that on haul. And that's really fun and exciting stuff that I want to share with you on that. The other big thing that I did the past 2 weeks, Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot invited me to join one of her monthly Zoom meetings, which was really fun. It is just some of her followers getting together and just taking some time to get to know each other and stitch. And I was so blessed to have her invite me, and it was a great time. There were about 7 to 8 stitchers there, and we just talked about our lives in general, our stitching journey, ranging from me for just several months to some others there who have been doing it for 60 plus years. So it was an amazing group of people who were just so knowledgeable about cross-stitching community and the techniques of cross-stitching, and really kind and generous with their time. And it was just such a fun group. We talked about anything and everything. There were tons of Me Too's and it's a small world moments and things that, just really built community. We talked about everything from silks and travel to music. It was just a great time. So thank you, Sarah, so much for inviting me. I had a great time and I really appreciate your hospitality. So over the past my 2 videos, I received several questions about using Grayscale to pick your colors. And I have to admit, this is a technique I use, but I am not sure I am the best communicator of it. I use it, but then I also deviate from it. So I'm going to kind of talk through what I did particular on the Max Pigeon project that I did that everybody was asking questions about. But then I'm going to give you another resource as well that you can get some really good insight on that. So my project here that I showed last time is Trees Company. And I converted the colors to this pink to maroon scale. So this is what everybody has been asking about on how I did my color conversion. And then in the book, it is on a green scale. So up on the screen, I'm going to put some images. So on the left-hand side is the original color scheme called for by Max in the book. And so those are the greens that he chose. And then on the right are the reds that I chose for mine. And then I will switch that over to the grayscale. And so you can see that they're not quite exactly the same. And you can see how overall the two grayscales have a different level of darkness collectively. So Max's is much lighter than my choices, and then mine, are darker. I originally tried to match the grayscale up with the reds to be more in line with his original grayscale. But I turned out I didn't like the colors. And so even though that's where I started and I tried to do that conversion, I kind of got in the ballpark, but then I deviated and found colors that I like. So if you look at the two final projects, overall his is much lighter and airier than mine is, and mine is much more dark and subdued, I guess is the right word. So that's where we were going, what I was doing when I was going through the grayscale. So I used it as a foundation, but then I deviated from it and made some other preference choices after that when it came to color. So if you want a really great resource to better understand grayscale, how to use it on your phone, how to apply it, go to Avon Waters. He's a content creator here on YouTube. He's a pastel artist, and so he really uses some of these techniques for pastel. So it'll translate relatively close to the same. The media will behave differently whether you're using pastels or threads, but for the most part the theory is about the same. So go check out his video. I've linked it below. And if you have any further questions on that, but I think he can explain it much better than I can on the theory of grayscale and why we would use it in art. So anyway, so I use it as a tool, but it only got me to a certain point, and then I made some other decisions after that. Since we are talking about Max Pigeon, I wanted to announce the winner of his book. So again, thanks everybody for subscribing and following along, and I appreciate it. So the winner is going to receive their version of this. I have it right over there, so not beat up like mine. And so the winner, for all the comments, I have received over 180 comments with the word forest in it, so thank you everybody for making creative sentences. So the winner is Aspen Stitcher. So Margaret, congratulations. If you want to send me an email or send me a message on Instagram, that information is down below. I'll get your information from you and I will send that out to you right away. Moving on to whips, I'm going to start with Baldaquin Birdies. This is the stitch along from Modern Folk Embroidery. It has been my challenge for the past month. This was the easiest one for me to do, January and February, and then it got to March, and it's just been a bit of a struggle for me. So I'll show you where I am and how little I got done, but I'm hoping to get caught up slowly and surely and get back on schedule for this. So I'm not going to make any commitment to get this caught up by the end of April, but I want to at least get up to the point where I get April's done, and then also catch up a little bit from March. So this is where I am right now. So the last time you saw it, it was right about this level here. This portion was down here. I did get a little bit of this done down here, and then I did add some more here in the middle. So some small progress, but not a lot. My next whip is the Night of All Fears. So this is, again, my very first cross-stitch project that I ever started. So it's been going on since October. So I'm making slight progress, and I'm working over on this building right here. Been making some progress in that area. And that dangly string has been there for 2 weeks now, because there's one little black stitch right there is the doorknob, and then there's some up there, and so it's just waiting. So this is one I try to get I try to make sure I get it some attention at least once a week, and then once I get going on it, it's hard to actually put it down. This next whip is my big surprise of the week. I really did not want to pick it up. This is the Nordic Advent Calendar. I just didn't want to do it. And then I picked it up and I couldn't stop. So where we were last time, I finished up this 3 for the 3rd day over there. And then I had some extra thread. So I started over here on the 4th. And then I just had to pick up 2 more threads too, because I just was having so much fun doing it, and I just kept going. So it's the beginning of a Christmas tree, and hopefully by the next time we see this, this will be really close to being done. So I hope to have this done by the end of April. All right, I'm also participating in the Catkin and Lily Patreon stitch along. And so that will be done by the end of April. This is where I am right now. I'm playing with the variegation and the colors. So I started down here, and I was struggling to figure out how to get them to play well together. And kind of experimenting, and then moved up here into this little tulip, and I think that turned out rather well. And then I moved over here to this one. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this variegation and how to work with the threads. So that's been really fun to see that. And then I get over here to this last motif over here, and I felt like I had a really good understanding of how they were going to behave. So that was a lot of fun, seeing how this progresses. So again, these are not my typical go-to colors, but I'm having a lot of fun with them. I think it's really bright, cheery, and spring-like. It's turning out a lot better than I was expecting it to. But again, this was an experiment to begin with. So, but I am pleased with the outcome so far. So looking forward to getting this wrapped up in the next couple weeks. Okay, my next project is not cross stitch. It is the Blackwork from the Steady Thread. This is the 2025 Sal. So I started really late on this, so I was about 6 weeks behind, I believe, when I started. Oh, probably closer to 8 weeks behind when I started. So I'm working on going to be getting 2 motifs a week. That's my goal, to get caught up and then start on the one motif after that. I didn't get 2 this week, so I actually didn't get as far as I wanted, but I did get some extra of the border in. I was able to do that on an airplane, so that was actually nice. So that gave me a little bit of time to get some of that done. This is a great project to just take on the go with you too, because it's the back stitch is easy to get done. Okay, the next up is the Yule Cat. So this is my little happy project. So this is the one that I just do when it really helps me relax. At first I thought it was going to be a bit cumbersome and I have to do a lot of brain power, but it really is just such a fluid, it's just so relaxing whenever you get going. So so this is where I'm working on now. So I think I got maybe about another repeat of this motif down here. So slowly building that out. And so I'm going to plan on moving the middle border up in, and then start working on the outside border as well. And I'm going to reward myself occasionally after I get a couple more of these done by start working on the name and some of the snowflakes in there. And then I'm going to be saving the cat. Well, I say I'm going to save the cat for the end, but I'll probably get some of it along the way. But That's my goal on that one. Yeah, so that border looks really, really complex. It was intimidating at first, but I really just get into that, and it is just so soothing to just go through that pattern down there. Okay, this is my new start, and this comes with a spoiler alert. So if you are waiting to see what Extraordinary Birds looks like by Lil Crow, you can want to look away right now. So this is my my first crack into it. So this is where I've got. So I was really intimidated by this when I saw the pattern. There's a lot of empty space, and that scared me. I was like, I'm going to have to make sure my stitches are definitely in the right place, because there's not a lot of markers to pin yourself to and see where you are. So I did the top center start, and then built this area up, and then there's 4 different ways to come down. I decided to get this center one as sort of the foundation to build from there. Luckily, I was able to get around the whole thing and get back to where I was supposed to be. So I was double and triple and quadruple counted on some of these to make sure that I was not going to mess this thing up. So there are still other opportunities to mess up my counting down the road, but so far so good. So I'm really enjoying it. I am so pleased with what the pattern looks like. I thought I had an idea of what it looked like. I knew there'd be some sort of structure based on some of her previous designs. But what I had envisioned does not compare to what she actually delivered. So I'm really happy with where this is going. And there already are 2 birds that are going to be put in here. And so we don't have to wait to get to all the fun stuff either. So this will be going on for a while. We have about 6 weeks to get the frame done before more birds are added. All right, and last but not least is SAGA. So I was able to make a good chunk of progress on this. According to my numbers, I might be slightly behind when it comes to stitches, but I did a lot of back stitching, which is not accounted for in the numbers. So I feel like I am keeping up with where I want to be on SAGA. So I will go ahead and put up where I am. Now, before I even put a single stitch in this, 4, 5, 6 times, I went and recalculated the amount of fabric I was going to need. And I'm still was paranoid once I started that my fabric was going to be too small. So I measured the vertical here, and so I thought I was confident with that. So I had to do a horizontal line so I could at least get an idea of what that horizontal would look like. And I think, well, actually, I know I'm going to be able to get it on the fabric now. So that was reassuring. So that's kind of where I started doing this pattern from. So we have all the fun animals from last week. And then we have 2 little dogs down here. And I'm going to say they're whippets. I don't know for sure, but that's just what I'm going to call them. And then we have the front and back legs of a hippopotamus. So he's going to be a good chunky guy when he gets in there. So yeah, that's probably work next. I'll probably, well, I don't know, either build out the hippo or start up on the arch that's going to come over here. So that's where I am. I'm having so much fun with this. It is just, I love the storytelling, and there's so many little things that you discover along the way that I didn't know that was there. So all this right down here is that back stitch underneath in there to create that water scene. And hopefully in the next 2 weeks too, I can also start adding some other colors as well. So I think we're going to get some of the celestial colors in here, and a good bit more of the vegetation as well. So that is it for my whips. So moving on to plans. The only plan I have coming up for a new start is going to be the Halfway to Halloween project that we talked about last time. Thank you everybody for giving me such great suggestions. I have made a list of all the suggestions that I received, and I'm going to pin that. The hashtag for that is Halfway Halloween Sal. And anybody is welcome to join. I know there are several other Flosstubers that are going to be joining. So look around for that. It's going to be really fun. If you want to join, you can select any Halloween project you want. Just start stitching on it and go ahead and post on Instagram, and we can all see what everybody's doing as we get ready for the spooky season. I'm still debating on what I'm going to do. I'm a lot closer than I was last time. I mentioned the Halloween Quaker last time, and the Candy Corn of Mischief were two items that I have that I was going to do in the fall for seasonal stitching, and I think I'm going to keep them there. So what I'm looking at now is, what's it called? The Horse-Drawn Hearse. So it is from the Night Spirit Studio on Etsy. So that's probably where I'm going. I'm pretty confident I'm going to be there. I've already been looking at some threads for that. So I'm excited about that. My other plans for this month to get caught up for Baldaquin Birdies. That's my big goal, is to really make sure that I can get that moving and back into a good spot. I enjoyed stitching on it so much, and I just got out of my rhythm. So that's my big plan, is to really get caught up on that. And it will be fun once I get back into the rhythm of that. So I want to go over a little bit of the haul that I got. I got I don't know, maybe 10 small little pieces of miscellaneous fabric that I still have to measure and identify, see what types they are. I plan on doing some experimenting with some dye work just to see what comes out of that. So that's something I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks, just to see how that turns out. So it may or may not be something that I share here. It depends on how well it goes. I have done some dye work before, and so it tends to work okay, but I don't know if it'll ever be anything that I use. I might have to just redonate that. So some other haul that I did get from some thrift stores and creative reuse centers. I can go over there. I got several old magazines. This one's from 1995. It is the Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. So I am mostly getting these to collect motifs from my library. So whether it's lettering or borders or just individual little motifs that you can put around. So this one has this really cute little Easter themed one right up here. That is really fun right on the cover. And then it also has Consider the Lilies here, so which is a really beautiful piece. So there's actually a lot in here, and I'm not going to go over all of it. I'm just going to pick some highlights. This Cross Stitcher magazine is from, I have no idea when this one's from, but there's two on here that I got for. So I wanted this little cardinal up here, and there are a variety of rose motifs in there too. So those are all patterns, so I really can't show you too much here. Just Cross Stitch is the next magazine. This one is from $1995 as well. So here are just some fall motifs that are tiny that I can spread around. So I don't really have any plans for any of this yet, but just trying to get a little library and some inspiration together. And then there is this lion which is really, really fun. So that one might have to go on my list here pretty soon, but that one's in there as well. So this next one is McCall's Cross Stitch Bazaar. So this one just has a lot of botanicals in it, and this is definitely sort of my vibe when it comes to things that I would have around. There are 4 of these seasons. Which are really fun. So, and those are all in there. Plus, this one just has tons and tons of miscellaneous patterns throughout. So that one's great. Moving on to non-magazines, these are just patterns. Interesting timing with Extraordinary Birds coming out. I found exotic birds. So that'll be fun to compare how designers create similar birds. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Or not doing that, comparing. Not stitching, but I'm glad I have this handy. This one is called Kristen's Sampler by Pat Rogers. So let me see if there's a date. No, 1984. I love the alphabet on this one. There's some great lettering in there, and just this all around the border. Pat Rogers, this one's called the May Basket Sampler. And this is also from 1994. Again, just great letters, great borders in the basket. So I think that I probably won't stitch this as a one piece, but definitely having those pieces available. All right, and this one's from Stitch World 1996. This is called The Hare in the Basket. So that border, I love this border, and then the little hare right there. It's just so much fun. All right, the next one is the Tamsin Heverly Sampler from 1829. And the Eliza Birch Sampler from 1810. And 1988 is when these were recreated. So I love this house right here. So that might be on my to-do list as well. Okay. And this one is probably the most amazing find. And it's called The Ginger Kitty by Marilee Beams. And there's no date on this one, but it is signed by the original owner. So there is the little ginger kitty right there. So that's really fun. This next one is a kit. It was originally a kit, and then I got it as a re-established kit. It was from the Creative Reuse Center, and the previous owner actually went and did a DMC conversion, and so I'm interested to see what that conversion looks like, and it actually come with some remnants of the floss, and then I have since gone and bought those floss. So it is called Woodland Alphabet. So this is probably the cutesiest thing that you'll ever see me ever come close to stitching, but I definitely love all those little animals on there. So anytime you put animal on there, I would be happy to stitch it. So that's this one just makes me smile. All right, and the last one is the Houses of Hawkrun Hollow. So this is a complete kit with the price tags and everything on it originally. So this is was a great find. So I have been looking at the Halloween of Hawkrun Hollow. So that I was really excited to get that. So that is the majority of my haul. I still have some other stuff that I have going to save for later. Thanks for sticking around and sharing my stitching with me today. So if you would like, please send me a message on Instagram or through email, or leave me a message down below, and I'll get back to that as soon as possible. And always like, subscribe, and hit the little notification button if you want to follow along. I'm so grateful that you are here, and I really appreciate your time in watching this video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.